Yo, what is up, everybody? So let's go back again with another chapter from the story titled Don't Turn Around 2, written by Jacob Harris. Remember to use the links in the description below. Show love to the author, like, comment, and subscribe. Chapter 2. In one of the less popular areas of Tokyo, a dilapidated building housed Super Unexplainable Paranormal, one of Japan's least popular magazines that cover the paranormal and other unexplained phenomena. On this day, the chief editor, Mr. Yamagata, was looking over one of his newest reporter's most recent stories, while the nervous employee stood before his desk. The speed in which Yamagata would read the work of his employees made them assume he had made up his mind as to whether or not the story would be published by the time he had finished with the title. Yamagata dropped the stack of papers onto his desk. The look on his face said more than words ever could. Your story doesn't have that something that is, this magazine prides itself on. What do you mean? Our stories grab our readers by the throat, and they don't let them go until the very last word. This story of yours wouldn't even leave a mark. I want our readers to feel like they've just survived a life or death situation. So, you don't like the story about the woman in the woods? Yamagata grabbed a nearby pen and frantically began writing on the stack of papers on his desk. Change the woman to a giant rat and send it upstairs so we can get it to the press. The reporter retrieved his story from Yamagata's desk and took his leave. When he was alone in his office, Yamagata opened his desk and pulled out a bottle of whiskey. Where would this magazine be without me? As he poured himself a very full glass, Yamagata's phone began ringing. Even with his favorite liquor beckoning him to drink it down, Yamagata reluctantly answered the phone. Yes, this is Yamagata. Ah, Mr. Yamagata. It's your close friend, Mr. Ito. Ito! He was less than enthused to be speaking to his greatest rival. He made no further hesitation and drank down his whiskey. Hey man, how are things going down there? Oh, things are going amazing. Running the stories that your magazine is too afraid to touch. Yeah, that's You happen to see our latest issue. We received a lot of praise for our article about the carnivorous hot spring. You're a pure fluff piece. Did you see our last issue? People are still talking about our vampire mayor story. Nah, couldn't find any copies of your most recent issue. I've heard they had it pulled from the shelves because your vampire mayor threatened to sue you for libel. You couldn't find any copies because they're all sold out. And you couldn't be sued for libel if you never named the mayor you're talking about. Stop tiptoeing on the edge of what's legal and what's not. Yamagata poured himself another glass of whiskey and drank it quickly. You never call unless you want something. So, stop beating around the bush and just tell me. Well, rumor has it that you sent some of your reporters to investigate the dead city. Dead city? There's no such thing as the dead city. It would be a waste of time and resources to send my reporters to investigate something that everybody knows doesn't exist. Well, I have a reliable source in my magazine that says you sent 3 of your people to cover your story. And who might this so-called reliable source of yours be, huh? Miss Tanaka, one of our cover artists. Used to date Mr. Takahashi. I believe he's the photographer you sent on the assignment. That damn Takahashi never could keep his damn mouth shut. I told him not to tell anyone about this. I couldn't trust him. I think Takahashi was trying to impress Miss Tanaka in some sort of attempt winning her back. Suppose the cat is out of the bag, isn't it? Can't be helped now, but there's no way you can get a team to the Dead City in time to beat us to the punch. By the time you do, my All-Stars will be back and we'll start printing the best-selling issue in our magazine's history. Moron. Huh? You think I just now came up with the idea of sending people to investigate the Dead City? I sent my best reporters to cover this story over 3 weeks ago. Liar. You sent them 3 weeks ago, then why haven't you published your story yet? Because they never came back. Vito, what do you mean they never came back? We lost contact with them shortly after they arrived at the Dead City. Called their cell phones hundreds of times, to no avail. They're gone. Then why haven't they been reported missing on the news? Or it would be on every television station and every newspaper. Police are sweeping it under the rug. That's our best guess. Word got out about this place. Every wannabe reporter and paranormal investigator will flock to the Dead City and end up just like our reporters. You must contact your people and tell them to come back now, or it's too late. Yamagata was at a rare loss for words. I'll call you back. After pouring himself another glass of whiskey and chugging it down quickly, Yamagata retrieved his cell phone. He frantically scrolled through his contacts until he came upon Azumi Yoshida, his best reporter and one of the 3 people he had sent to the Dead City. Come on, Yoshida, pick up. After a few rings, someone on the other end picked up. Yoshida, are you alright? How are the others? Did you reach the Dead City? There was no response on the other end, only static. Yoshida! Though he was alone, Yamagata couldn't help but feel his presence behind them. He quickly looked back, but found no one there. At that moment, the call cut off. Hannah stood within the smothering fog. A most sinister grin graced her lips. Not strong enough, but I will be. Now, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of chapter 2.